Padawans. Thank you for joining me today to discuss CET templates. Yes, everything is Star Wars themed. This is not meant to confuse you. It's only meant to demonstrate that everything we do in CET can be done with anything, whether it's for furniture here on planet Earth or for droids in a galaxy far, far away. Having a template drawing will help you get to your end goal faster by removing the need for repetitive production work. We're going to talk through all these items listed here and demonstrate how they can be applied to your template drawing. So, first things first, what exactly is a template drawing? Simply put, a template drawing contains settings and standards, and it'll use the Force to make you do a save as before you close, so you don't overwrite anything. I want to make sure and mention that anything considered to be a preference or setting you have in your control panel will not be part of your template. These preferences are controlled and saved to your local computer. There are a couple ways we can save our template file. The first way is once we've completed our template drawing, we can go into the File menu and select Save as Template. This template will now be available in our Templates menu. If you have an existing template file, or CMDRWT, you can also drop this into your CET Documents template folder. To manage how your template is used, you can open up your control panel and navigate to the Templates section. Here you can choose your default template. You can also make some decisions on how you want to use it. Do you want to always open up when you start CET, or maybe just when you click New Drawing? This is one of the personal preference settings that is unique only to your computer. Okay, let's dive into our template. The first thing I want to discuss is categories. So categories allows us to control visibility for items like install drawings. If you have your own set of custom categories, then this will help you turn on or off items you want to see in your install drawings. The nice thing about this is it can be exported as a reusable file. You can input this into other drawings that were not created by your original template drawing. But this will still help to standardize across all viewports. Next is a pretty easy one that all template files should have. It's a standard floor material and a 0 point. Your floor material can be white floor for that showroom look in your renderings, but whatever material you choose, this will be the default color in your template and always be there when you open up this drawing. We also want to place a 0 point. I don't know about the rest of you, but I always forget to place this until after I place my CAD drawing. If it's placed in your template drawing, you won't have to think about it, and your architect or A&D firm will thank you when you export that CAD file and it'll match up to theirs. Next up is styles. Styles, like categories, give you control over brand, textiles, colors, and dimension standards. Another nice benefit of styles is the ability to change items on a global scale. Like if you go through a rebranding, you only need to update your style in the style editor. With styles applied, you can change the font and it'll adjust all of your paper's text and data fields. Styles are an imperative item for dimensions. Dimensions have 3 styles applied to them: a text style, dimension style, and line style. Having these already applied in your template drawing can drastically speed up your workflow. As a side note, if you are creating a template for your dealer, make sure to distribute your style files to your team and save them in your CET document style folder. This will allow your template to access them correctly. Another setting that you can apply to your template drawing is part tagging. Part tagging can help to organize your drawing and specifications. You can also use part tagging to add color to your install drawings. Within your template drawing, you can set up standard based on your location, role types, rooms. You can even build an area within your 2D plan for space planning. If you tag an area and check the no pricing box, then anything within this area boundaries will have a 0 price in your calculations. You can then filter out this area and export the view only pertinent to the product within your drawing. This is probably my favorite part tagging feature. Okay, let's move into paper space and talk about what papers should live in your template file. Most of us use this space to house our title blocks, but in addition to title blocks, you could have an example of a cut sheet or a bid package layout. You could have those things here as well. If you don't already know, you can export CET papers to PowerPoint. So you could create your lookbooks or bid packages here. You could export them directly to PowerPoint to assemble a pre-configured bid package and collaborate with others that don't have CET. Make sure you save all of your papers as a master copy. This would be a CMPPR file. This way, you can have them all here or load them as necessary. I've provided some best practices for creating CET papers. These are all tips I've learned that will save you time on the back end when creating deliverables. All right, let's navigate to your calculations. In your template drawing, you can always set your columns and grouping in your main view, and you can save it as your default. But did you know you can save additional article views in your template? I recommend saving a few different ones that have particular columns turned on or off, maybe some grouping set up by part tagging. We could also apply that special no pricing filter ahead of time so you don't have to waste your time organizing mid-project. This way you can see and export whatever your preferences have been set up to. All right, that was quick and easy. Now let's venture into another realm. I bet you didn't know you could apply template settings in PhotoLab. If you are one of those who struggle with getting that lighting and rendering just right, you can create thumbnails in PhotoLab that do all the hard work for you. These are all different from custom presets, although those are very helpful as well. I have 4 thumbnails here that I created with different photograph setup settings. I hit render, and then I also applied some post-processing settings to them as well. I also renamed them so that I knew the effect it was going to apply. Now, when I'm going to use my template, all I need to do is select the thumbnail I want my rendering to look like, click the Edit button, find my items, and then click Render. That's it! No need to mess with anything else on the left or the right. And so if your department has a certain standard or look requirement, all you need to do is set it and forget it. And now everybody is a PhotoLab expert. Last stop on this template journey is our 2D toolbox. This space combines many of our other discussed topics. This should be the space where your most frequently used items should live. As you can see, I have dimensions and text, and all of these have been categorized on my custom categories. They also have styles applied to them. I have my branding colors here, so I can have it to apply to shapes or other text. These items that exist in this 2D toolbox should be generic and be able to be used on multiple different projects. They're used to house department standards. The 2D blocks here are always nice to have on hand to do some quick space planning if you don't know what furniture or items that you're going to use. Then you just replace the 2D symbol with your 3D item, and now your project has already been planned. All right. Now that we have lots of new ways that we can speed up production and standardize our work, there's one more new tool I want to cover. Convergent Solutions recently released a new utility extension to the CET universe. This extension uses all the data that you have already worked so hard at planning with and applies it to smart data fields. This helps you quickly create your cut sheets, bid forms, and lookbooks. The console extension lives only in your paper view. There are 5 templates that are included, and you can use these as a starting point, or you can create your own template with a regular CMPPR file. We have multiple smart data fields that access the information in your calculation data, as well as the materials and options that you've applied. Each of these data fields can be formatted with your own personal styles. Once you have your data fields placed, you can save this as your own console template. With your paper selected, there are 3 methods to populate your paper. For this one, let's select Fill Paper with Lasso. Find the area you want to draw the lasso around, and depending on your layout, you have the option of removing duplicates. This will ignore part numbers that are the same and have the same options. The paper will now fill in the details of the area you selected. The 2D field will zoom into your area and default to a 1/4 inch scale. The 3D will isolate your selection in a 3D view. By checking the Isolate checkbox, you can see the other items around it. With the 3D render field, you also have a handful of rendering options, including contour or high-quality render. You can also choose to replace the image with your own JPEG if you choose. The other calculation fields will grab your data from your calculation dialog. In the property box, you can change what data is currently being shown. Right now we have a description, but we could change this to a part number or the list price. You can also use the calculation data field to show part tagging categories. Basically anything that's in calculation, you can choose to automate that being shown. The material swatch field will pull in the finished swatches that have been applied to an item. Below the material swatch, we have option data. This allows you to display the information from your specifications that relate to the finished swatches. Console templates also work with all of the standard CET paper tools, including images, text, view clips. This way you can create a completely customized paper that matches your brand. At the end of the day, Console allows you to leverage and automate the existing data to save you from wasting time on tedious production work. Now you have more time to get back to the things that are important, like design. Thanks for taking this journey with me. If you want to learn more about Console or follow me on any of my socials, check them out. And as I always say, have fun being creative.